Okay, good morning, fifth graders. Happy Monday. Hopefully you finished up last week's assessment on Wednesday, Thursday, looked over answers on Friday, and checked out how you did with your scores. I also went through and put comments in for you, so go ahead and check those out today. We're going to move on to lesson 6, day 1. So what are we learning and doing today? Today we're going to continue to read Promises to Keep about Jackie Robinson. We're going to create a new anchor chart together, and we're also going to write a summary paragraph. So this is broken up into 2 days. We're going to do, our focus today will be writing that summary paragraph. And then tomorrow you'll work on that new anchor chart. So learning targets are, I can summarize an informational text read aloud, what you've been working on continuously for the past 2 weeks. And then I can write a paragraph explaining how people or events led to Jackie Robinson's success using specific information in the text. So we're going to read the next section, which is pages 22 to 27. It's called 1945, A Changing World. I want you to think about what you notice and wonder still, and what this text is about. But today we're going to do things a little bit differently before we get to those summaries. We're going to be taking notes. So taking notes is an important part of summarizing because it helps you think about the main ideas and key details of the text. So instead of getting to the end and then thinking about the main ideas and key details, you're kind of keeping a running tab of what you've read so that this part is a little bit easier. So using notes to summarize a text is better than using your memory, because if you use your memory, you may miss some important details. Taking notes while you listen to a text read aloud is called running notes, or as we call it, annotating. So we're going to try this together, even though you guys are very familiar with it at this point. So I'm only going to do one page with you so that you see the process and how we can go back and forth with the Google Doc. And then I'm going to let you guys go off on your own. So your document today is going to look like this. Okay, and you're going to think about what, after hearing this page, what notes could we take? Okay, and then we'll get into the summary part. So your document for today is here. Looks like this. Okay, here's your observation, what you hear box, aka where you put your annotations, and then any questions you have, and at the bottom will be the summaries. So that'll be the second part today. So I'm going to pull up Promises to Keep. And I'm just going to go through the first page, modeling what exactly you guys can do, and then you are on your own for the rest of it. So 1945, A Changing World. After the Army, Dad worked for a year as a coach at Houston Tillotson College in Austin, Texas. He then played baseball in the Negro Leagues for one season, 1945. That was the only league open to an African American ball player at that time. Okay, so I've read a paragraph. I'm going to pause. I'm going to make a note here that Jackie was a coach, not a couch, a coach, before he played 1 year. I'm also going to add that part that that was the only league open to African American ball players at the time. Okay, so I am kind of shortening some of this. Okay, I'm not writing it word for word. Notes are not writing quotes. Notes are putting it in your own words, in a way that you can understand it. So between 1888 and 1947, black ball players were restricted to the Negro Leagues. The Negro Leaguers played a unique and exciting style of baseball that entertained millions in small towns and big cities across America. Negro League teams gave us great players such as Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, Willie Mays, and Henry Hank Aaron. I'm actually going to add that fact to that last note I made, that it was during 1888 to 1947 this was the case. Also going to definitely mention that great players. I spelled that wrong. Yep. Okay, so this is just how you guys are going to do it. You're going to bounce back and forth, read a paragraph, take a couple notes. Read a paragraph, take a couple notes. I'm going to continue. Despite the glory associated with Negro League Baseball, it was still a part of a discriminatory system. Major League Baseball had an unwritten policy that kept non-white players out of organized baseball. Black ball players were denied the opportunity to play in the major leagues. Salaries were lower in the Negro Leagues, the schedules were less structured, and when the teams traveled south, they were forced to follow Jim Crow laws. So I'm definitely going to add the fact that leagues had a lot of discrimination. I'm actually going to add to that lower salaries. Oh, okay. Because of its inequities, Dad questioned his future in professional baseball. Although my dad knew that the black press, some liberal sports writers, and a few politicians were fighting for an end to Jim Crow baseball, he had little faith that it would happen in his lifetime. Little did Dad know that change was close, or that he was the prime candidate to break down the racial barrier. I'm just going to mention that Jackie thought things would never change in his lifetime. Okay, so only maybe 1 or 2 quotes per paragraph. Okay, you guys are going to continue all the way to page 27. So when you get to Why My Father, you're going to stop. Okay, so you're going to read this paragraph or this page, and then you're going to add. All right, so you're going to continue to read, pause, write notes, and then you're going to write any questions you have. And then you're going to move into the summary part. So when you get to the summary, it's still very similar to how you did it before, but you're going to have your notes to help you. So you're still going to come up with the main ideas of this chapter and then the key details supporting the main ideas. So remember, in previous weeks, you had more than one main idea. So you have more than one paragraph. And then you're going to add your key details. What's great is that you already have most of those details already written in your notes. So you should just be able to pull them out quickly. What you'll have to probably come up with on your own is what the main idea is. So remember what we do to find main ideas. Look for those repeated ideas and what the author is really trying to state as their message in this section. Okay? So remember, you're finishing all the way to page 27, writing notes, and then going back to the doc and finishing with a summary. So when you write your summaries, you guys can actually just delete these lines and start typing. All right, guys, remember I'm available if you need any help, and I look forward to reading what you come up with.